don't know. We can start with shoes and then just kind of see where that takes us. I don't know what you have ready or whatever, but yeah, whatever you want.
Alright, you want to answer the questions first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me pull up um, so oh, by the way, this is my idea. It's to your feet now.
Yeah. I know we've been talking about this for months.
For the record keeper.
Yeah.
Alright, so Mike asks, how did you get into sneakers?
All right. So I guess I pretty much started 4 years ago. I'd always been kind of paying attention to it and interested like in shoes. Can you hear me fine, by the way?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, cool. So I kind of just started out like I knew a little bit about shoes. I always cared what I wore growing up, but I never really like known what to look for or anything. And then one of my friend's brothers talked to me and like told me about this whole reselling thing, and I was kind of interested about it. So I started reading like all these blogs and everything like that, and then I just pretty much I used to wait like in line at Nike, waiting for like extra RSVP pairs, hoping like I'd maybe get a pair or whatever. That never worked out. And then like I'd go for drops manually online back when like all you needed was a Chrome extension, and usually I'd take like L's. So pretty much I'd say the first shoe like I actually got and flipped for money was the Jordan 11 Concord Lows, which was just like it was like a decent shoe. I probably bought it for like 150, 160, sold it for like 300 something. It's like that was the first time I realized like shit, there's money to be made here. And so I've kind of been going ever since then. I'd say like I kind of really started taking it more seriously 2.5 years ago when I realized like, okay, there's some good opportunities here. So I've just kind of been going at it ever since.
So, with like how you said it was a realization, how did that go over, like amongst you and your friends since, you said you
I
live
mean,
in Chicago, right? So up
yeah.
Ian and Danny.
Exactly. Well, Danny's in Iowa, but so yeah, Ian and I are actually really good friends. But so I mean, Ian was actually like one of the people that helped me out when I was first starting because he'd been in it a little bit longer than I had, so he just knew like a little bit more stuff than me. But we were always like figuring stuff out together. And I mean, I think like most people I know outside of shoes like really respect it because they knew me like before I did it, and then obviously once I've done it, and like I'd say like it's definitely changed me. Like I definitely am always on my phone, just kind of making moves, whatever. But I feel like it's made me a better person. Just kind of like I don't know, gives me something better to do than just like messing around. And I feel like I don't know, like there's a really good community here. Like you get to meet great people. It's just like I don't know, I can't complain.
Yeah, I understand. What would you, did you say you like people like respect people?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I've like never like I've always tried to keep like me and my friends separate, but I guess like out there in Chicago it's a little bit different since you said that Ian was like your mentor and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were figuring stuff out together, but he definitely was like a little bit ahead of me for a while.
Yeah. Well, so the next question from the tweet is from Slick, and he said top 5 shoes of all time.
Top 5 shoes of all time. All right, this is gonna be in no particular order. I really like the Yeezy 2. You can call me hype beast, whatever, but that's always been a shoe. Like I've always wanted it. I remember when they dropped the Red Octobers randomly. I was just chilling at the gym, trying to get them. I totally failed. I was just messing around, but like that's always been a shoe that I've wanted, but I've never pulled the trigger on. So that's up there. Surprisingly, Black Cement 3s. I really like those. I mean, it's a GR, but very fire to me. Very nice lines. Royals for sure. So as you can tell, pretty much a Nike Jordan guy.
Yeah.
But I do like the Adidas stuff too. So like, I really like how comfortable V2s are. they're kind of annoying to wear all day, but they're pretty comfortable. So I'll put I'll put zebras up there, and then Tom Saxon Nike Mars Yard
I was
2.0.
just about to ask about that one because
Yeah,
I saw the collection picture.
yeah. No, I have two pairs of those. One pair like I wore every day for like 3 months. Totally beat them. They're so beat, but I still love them. And then I still have a pair on ice for I don't know when.
Do you have the cork? And
I used to have a cork in them, but then like the cork actually fades out, so I've had the other insole in them for now.
yeah. How do you think about that drop? I remember trying because I also really like those ones, but had to go with like the 500 series or whatever.
Yeah. Like the whole thing was the whole release was really weird. Like I ended up winning in New York, but I couldn't make it, so I just ended up trading for my pairs, and then I got one pair for retail, so that was pretty easy. And then actually, I think I have a third pair because I paid for resale on one, but so I probably have a pair somewhere. But anyways, like that was such a trash release the way they handled it, and hopefully they might be dropping the blue swoosh ones soon, so hopefully those go better.
Yeah, those are, I like how they like it's like a very subtle like change in the colorway, but it's still pretty cool.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to the next one. Uh, okay, that's pretty much just Brendan said how it works. Figured that out for like 45 minutes before the commitment. So,
um, it worked. That's the best answer.
all right, so going on the list here. So we just covered reselling. Is there anything else you want to say about
I mean, not really. If anybody's like thinking about doing it, I say just give it a shot because it's really not that hard, especially now with like Adidas and Splash and whatever. It's definitely a lot not fair, but like you have a lot more of a chance of getting a pair if you don't know what you're doing. It's like you're a lot better off than I was when I started because it took forever to figure out what to do.
Yeah, on the, I think it was the Beluga 2.0 as well. I was just driving home. I didn't really like set up or anything, and I just entered Splash because I was bored and got a pair. So where those around?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that release was just insane. Such a cook, but
Yeah, how do you think about shoes being like shoes like the Beluga 1.0s were so like clowned, but now they're 1K and very limited.
like, what do I think about resale prices being so high?
No, like I meant like compared to like a V2 that drops now, it's like played out kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, but like, I feel people will always like them, and people hate on them, sure, but like, people will always like Kanye, and this design will always do well. I do feel that they've released too many colors too quickly. So like doing that back to back to back or whatever it was between blue tints, belugas, and Libras was just like absolutely crazy. But I think generally it's pretty good. They've kind of saturated it. I'm ready for the next shoe, but I hate the 500.
Are you talking about like the rats or whatever?
Yeah, the mud rats. So I really don't like those.
What about the 700?
I have a pair. I don't know. They're decent, but like they've grown on me over time. And at the time when I bought them, I was just like whatever. But still, I don't know. Pretty decent compared to the 500s.
Yeah, I like the 500s, but like whenever the yellow ones dropped, they were like the bundle, so
Yeah,
I wasn't really about it.
yeah, exactly. That was just way too expensive too.
Yeah. So the next one on the list is sports. Play any sports?
So I used to play basketball in row, but now I just don't. But yeah, I've always been a big basketball player. That's kind of also how I knew about shoes growing up, just because of all the releases that were happening like around Nike basketball. Like I was playing basketball, especially during that like prime Nike basketball era, like LeBron 9, LeBron 10, LeBron 8. hyper dunks, like all that. So that's kind of also how I got into shoes. Going back to that first question, I'm also like a huge Bulls fan, so I really like the Bulls. They're trash right now, but whatever.
Don't they have a game tonight?
What?
Don't they have a game tonight?
Yeah. Lopez just got ejected, and he threw a chair. But yeah, I don't know. Big Bulls fan. What else in terms of sports? I used to be really big into soccer, but then I stopped. Probably 6 years ago. I don't know. Couldn't keep track of it all. And then, yeah, I don't know. What about you? What sports do you play?
Podcast isn't really about me, but I wrestle.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, my bad. But did like correct me if I'm wrong, but did I see like a reply of you saying that you boxed?
Oh yeah. I did also box. That's actually true, but it's like all a casual thing. It's nothing crazy, but
Something light, nothing crazy.
well, something like nothing too crazy. But yeah, like I'll just box at the gym or whatever. It's not like I'm boxing people like flying down to Mexico making money or anything like that. Like just good workout.
The next one is women, but I don't know if that like really fits the thing. If you wanted to talk about that,
I mean, I'm not sure what there is to say, but
how's the women's situation?
it's complicated. Way too complicated.
We'll save that one for another time. How's school going?
Sounds good. What'd you say?
How's school going?
It's going well. I mean, almost done. Just kind of working through it. Yeah, I don't know. I've always been like a pretty good student. Always done pretty well, but I don't know. One thing I've always had trouble with is managing like running businesses with going to school. So like, kind of dealing with customer service while also like having classes or having a lecture or whatever. Like, it's pretty. It can get complicated, but you know, like to anybody that is going through that, you just always got to remember, like, no matter what, like making that $50, that $100, that $300 in class is not going to be worth it in like the long run compared to like paying attention and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, pretty relatable, but you know, every Thursday I'm still going to the bathroom in class.
Yeah, I mean that's very relatable. But Supreme's gotten a lot harder recently.
Yeah, we joked about Capra for a while, and now it's here. So.
Yeah, I regret every joke I made.
Yeah, and I remember like sitting in class a bunch of times with my phone out, and like in my school they're pretty strict about it. So and then like getting in trouble and getting a card declined. So it's like
Yeah, just way too complicated. Like a few years ago, I don't know how long ago you started, but like a few years ago, it didn't take much to like absolutely destroy Supreme. It's crazy.
I remember like I'd say I'm pretty like new to recently living in
Uh huh. Yeah.
but like when I first started, Alex Boro posted a picture, and he had like it might have been the Side APs, and he had like 100 something back.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember that. That was probably like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Yeah. I started like I don't remember what collab it was, but like they did this Witch Box logo tee. It was a nice tee, and now it's probably going for like $700. Like back then, it was so easy to get. Like you just had to be on the site and be relatively fast, and you were gonna cop everything. Like it's been crazy to see how much it's changed.
Or like the Gucci Mane tee, I was sitting on my lunch table and I bought one, and I ended up ripping it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. What do you think the next step for like other clothing stores is?
I think Kith still has a lot of life left in it, and I think they've really been like doing really versatile collabs. It's always been interesting to see, but I think Supreme's still like doing well, but in a few years I could see them dying just because they'll constantly want to open stores and essentially make money and just GR their product.
Yeah, I saw something from Jay that said they're gonna have 3 new stores in 2018.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I know there's one coming in Milan this season.
Yeah, I saw that, and Brooklyn just opened up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle it. I don't know.
Do you think Supreme will like copy something like Adidas and go to a splash, or what do you think of futures for?
I think they've always been known for their fast sellouts, and they've kind of used it to their advantage to show how hyped they are. So I think getting in the way of that can be really hurtful to them. But I could see them doing it eventually in the future. But kind of on that note, I'm surprised. Or I mean, I don't know if they are, but I'm surprised like they haven't not necessarily embraced, but like taken part in the resale aspect. I would have thought maybe with like the Carlisle group coming in, they would have said, okay, you know what, we're going to do the main business, but then we're also going to like maybe produce an extra 1,000 box logos, and then we're just going to sell those on the aftermarket and make more money. Like obviously different scales, but I've just been surprised that they haven't thought of that, or maybe they have.
Well, I know people like on Twitter. What's it? I'm too real for you. I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely has a lot of, or like Rohan has a lot of like insider stuff in that. So they definitely are like, aware of the
Yeah,
actual.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think that's always been able to like help them. Like back in the day, they didn't even use to change the links between regions just to like make shit sell out faster. So I think in general they've always embraced the fast checkouts, and I think they'll keep on doing that for a while.
So how do you think, if there is no change, how do you think Supreme embracing fast checkouts affects like third party websites that have like hype stuff also like PSN exhibition and Coca-Cola, that type of stuff? Will they like? Do you think they'll go like the Adidas route or like how Supreme goes with
I think it's a little different with Supreme in those places because I think shoes is. I mean, it's a big market and everything like that, but it's different from clothing because obviously with clothing you have like a well-established fashion industry behind it and everything like that. So I think it's always been a little different. So I don't know if you can completely compare them, but I think most of those sites who are releasing shoes want to make it harder. But I mean, every time, like for instance, Foot Patrol or whatever, one of their stores like made an app. I think it was like size, and within 3 days it was hacked, and people were cooking releases. So no matter what, I think people will find a way to get the fast checkout. But
yeah.
I think like yeah.
Speaking of Foot Patrol, what do you think about them sending like the wrong shoes?
The long what? Oh, the wrong shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times. I mean, it's just like they restock random things all the time. Or at least they used to, like especially over the summer. And most of the time, it's just like an error within the system, so you can't get too mad at them. What I was really mad about was back on like the original Belugas. I probably got 12 orders on their site. They canceled like 3 maybe, but then they shipped the rest in bags, and it took like months to arrive. So they've always been really bad at shipping overseas.
Yeah, I like I had a couple pairs that got caught up in customs for a while,
Yeah. Customs are just that's a whole other thing. Back like I don't know if you were in shoes back then, but in actually probably late December, early January of last year, Adidas Europe dropped the OG NMDs early. They dropped like the entire stock, and so I was ready, and like I was just checking out like crazy. I probably got like 70 pairs from there, like all privacy cards, whatever. And so I I ended up getting all the pairs like they would have arrived probably like 2 to 3 weeks before the release. So, like would have made decent profit, and then every single pair got stuck in customs for a month. So that was just terrible.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
Big passion.
For sure.
Alright, you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure.
This one is the man behind Papa Smurf.
Yeah. What about him?
I don't know. Is there anything you want to tell us about that?
I mean, nothing crazy. I mean, I live in Chicago. If anybody lives here, like, always down to meet up. I don't know, like, there's not much behind me. Like, I do have a life. I try not to get mix shoes into it and everything. I obviously like, prioritize family and friends over shoes, but yeah, I don't know. Like, shoes definitely isn't the entirety of me, but I'm not sure if people need to know everything about me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just had a question about like what you just said,
Uh,
but what's up?
like we were talking about like prioritizing shoes over friends and family. We were talking about um, meeting up, not knowing like all of me. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe it'll come back to you.
what do you think about SneakerCon coming to Chicago?
I mean, I love SneakerCon. It's always so funny. Um, I don't know. I'm excited. Like, it's always cool to put like faces to people on Twitter and just to see like what's going on. Meet up with like people I haven't seen in a while. Last year was the first time I had like a real table with connected. And I did it with connected kicks, so that was really interesting. And this year I obviously plan on going back. Probably me, Danny, and Ian will get a few tables, a bunch of Yeezys, something like that. I don't know yet, but it should be good. Are you gonna be coming?
Yeah,
Well, it's gonna be dope.
yeah. I think not to like force any opinions of anybody that's watching or anything like that, but a lot of people from KDG coming, so should pop out there.
Yeah,
Mike's coming if you want to.
yeah. I'll definitely meet him. Do you know him in real life?
No, he lives in Wisconsin.
Okay. Yeah, because I just see you guys always talking. So
Yeah, actually, big ups to him too for like keep pushing me to do this podcast. I almost gave up and I couldn't install like the broadcaster thing. So
yeah, I'm really excited to see this. 'Cause, like a few years ago, there used to be this guy called like Don Drew or something like that, and every week he'd interview like some like big person in shoes. But it's gonna be interesting to see like random smaller resellers. I think that's a really untapped market that you could do a good job in there.
yeah, I mean, they're like planning this like not to be like ad shoe related, but I mean, whatever, you know,
Yeah, exactly,
sort of just like talking to people.
exactly.
But next thing it says Twitter, so take a trip over to Twitter. There you go.
All right, here we go.
Have you ever watched like
Um,
Hot
I don't know
Ones?
why I have so many followers. It's so stupid.
Have you ever watched like Hot Ones with
Sean Evans.
yeah Sean Evans?
Yeah.
Like
He's funny.
the media thing?
Yeah. Both of them are really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean Evans is hilarious, and his show is hilarious too. But yeah,
Alright, so it's
I don't
finally
know.
I had a good idea for this one at the beginning, but it's probably way down here. It was does soaking pasta in water cook it or no?
All right, so for a while I didn't know how to cook pasta, and so I think there was like probably some release that night. Ah, fuck. I think it was like, yeah, it was when the iPhone 10 was coming out, and so I was hungry and I didn't know what to do. So I was just gonna order food, but everywhere was closed, and I didn't like know like, oh, am I supposed to boil water or whatever? so I just, so I just tweeted out and I was like, should I just soak this pasta in this water bottle and will it cook? And then like, no. And so then I just FaceTimed Ian, or no, it was actually Ben. Ben's like this different guy that we know on Twitter and who lives in California. No. It's his ad's like at I think it's Benjamin. Let me see. It's Ben J.A. Phillips. He's the homie. Yeah. So I FaceTimed him and he taught me how to cook pasta. It was just like, it was so stupid. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big idiot.
Yeah, what's like deal with that idiot talk, I guess, is like it's like super funny, but like
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've had a few conversations with people about this, and it's just like, I feel like it's easier, like, especially during releases or whatever. Like, I'll actually speak just like straight stupid, but I think the reason for that is just because like you can speak a lot faster. So like, if you're saying go 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 bot work, like I don't know, whatever, like whatever, but like I don't know. It's always been funny to me how like people just be like absolute idiots on the timeline.
yeah,
Like half the time I'm serious, half the time I'm like just being stupid.
on the timeline, like somebody in real life, if somebody let's say come up to you and call you like an idiot, you're like why'd you do that? I didn't get like rude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like somebody on the timeline calls you an idiot, it's like almost a compliment.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's sort of goofy. Uh, how about the Black Mama Air Force Ones? What do you think about those?
I mean, I think it's a really nice shoe, really good quality, but I don't know. It's definitely not worth the resale. I think very few shoes are worth the resale, but it's a nice shoe. I was lucky to get them for a fairly good price, but I think they're pretty fire.
What shoes do you think are worth the resale?
It's a good question. I think back when Mars Yard were like $700, like around there, like that was still worth it to me. Like 5 to 7. Now it's just like astronomical. It doesn't make sense. But I mean, most of the time you have to realize like we're selling shoes for $400. Like most people don't wear $400 shoes to begin with. Like I feel very little pairs are actually worth like complete resale. But that's just the way we kind of that's like our thing, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like I have like a lot of similar thoughts to that, but like I feel like there's not enough consumers in the market as there is resellers now.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely feel like, especially like going back to that Beluga 2.0 release, like the reason the prices are so low and kind of have stayed somewhat low. Like normally that would be a $600 shoe or whatever, but it's just because there's so many more pairs and so many people are just buying now to sell. Like I don't know if you're seeing this, but like even on like big accounts like Soul Links, which has always been like a weird account where not too many like you aren't really gonna hit off of them. Like almost all the time their comments are just like, are these gonna resell? Are these gonna resell? So I feel like so many people are joining now. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I not to like quote complex because complex isn't like I guess the timeline's not friendly with complexes, but I always see on family over like jokes and stuff. But
Yeah.
they say like the Supreme line reseller is like 9 to 1, but like reseller like is like Supreme is like kind of dead. If you ask me.
I mean, like it is kind of dead, and it's just super hard now with their like tech stuff because like you have to log in, like not log in, but you have to like register, and then you get a text, and like it's a random position in line. It's just like it's a lot more random now.
Yeah, I feel like when you go to like a drop, that would actually be worth like lighting up like a box load or something. But if it's
Yeah,
just you and your friends, I feel like, but then you're risking like death, because
exactly.
then it's like still not worth it. So
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that your life is worth a little more than a box logo.
yeah, you get in forfeit if you die at the box logo drop.
That's true. I don't know. Is the clout worth it?
Good question. Um, I have like 6 tweets screenshotted that I wanted to talk about, but
We can do that.
I deleted them, so but was trying to like, so like on my computer, since it's a school laptop, like you cannot do anything. So I was like, have to like make myself an administrator and all sorts of stuff. So that's why all the delays of it.
Yeah. But so, kind of to that note, are you like allowed to go for jobs or whatever on that laptop or not?
You're not supposed to be like in school, but like that's the only time that like they drop, So
Yeah, of course.
hopefully get DNA up on here in a minute.
Yeah. Shout out to DNA. It's gonna cook, dude. It's incredible.
Yeah, get the classic DM Danny and get the friends and family.
Beta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Migos take off. Best media. What do you think about that?
Facts. Straight facts. Has to be true. I mean, Quavo's the best at like verses and whatever. Offset has a nice flow, but Takeoff is the best Migo just in terms of like overall flow and just bars. I think he's underrated. Like, I mean, obviously they're all super famous and whatever, but like, I think he deserves way more than what he's getting.
Yeah, what do you think about him being left off of like Bad and Booty video?
I always thought that was like so stupid, just like the whole that whole interview. But I don't know, like I don't really have thoughts about it. I just think he's really good, and I think collectively they're amazing. Just kind of their flow.
Do you think they
But
should have got a Grammy?
what?
Do you think they should have got a Grammy?
Yeah, I mean, I think they deserve it, but I mean, the Grammys have always kind of shied away from rap, so it's kind of iffy for them. But I think next year we'll see a lot more of like rappers winning and everything. Um, yeah.
All right, here's a good tweet. If Peter's watching right now, just want to know I'm apologizing for calling out your tweet earlier, but I gotta find some work at Peter and overpay him so he can make up for all your shitty connection.
Yeah, I mean that guy's seems like a super great dude. He's always just doing whatever he can to help people out. Like you see him helping his friends out too. I just feel like a lot of people take advantage of him and don't like appreciate what he's actually doing. So if I ever find like a way to like a project for him that I could get him to do that I need him to do, I would definitely want to like do it with him because I feel like he doesn't get what he deserves.
I feel like the exact same way, but like I always see him tweeting out about like how he hates like writing bots and like stuff like that. So like I don't want to like
Yeah. I mean, like, it obviously have to be something he wants to do, but like, I just feel he deserves way more than what he's getting.
yeah for sure. Big ups to Peter.
Yeah, facts.
What about Cardi B?
Fuck Cardi B. I feel like there's nothing like good about her. I don't know. Her music just isn't very good to me, and I don't know.
What's that?
She's like a budget Nicki Minaj.
What's the like Bodak Yellow? I think that's
Yeah.
like every time it comes on, I'm like every girl has to sing. I'm like, oh my god, shut up.
Yeah. exactly. I mean, like, I feel like there's songs with like guys that like do the equivalent, but still.
I mean, yeah, more of that, but it's like not to be like sexist, but it's like more annoying when Cardi B does it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move to the next one. How to get married to Lana Del Rey?
Dude, she's so fine, dude. Crazy. She's a good ass singer too.
I think I've only heard Summer Bummer. Kiss Ever After.
Yeah, that's a good song. I don't know, like I can listen to like her whole albums or whatever, but I've always like her music seems really good to me, and it's just like it's good like chill music. She's a really nice voice.
Dope. All right. Do you skate?
I want to. I need to learn how to. When I was young, like I tried and whatever, but then I just kind of like stopped focusing on that. So I kind of want to pick it up. It seems super fun.
I like every time the Supreme like releases a video or whatever in their skating, I always like want to learn how to skate and stuff, but then I never
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm working on getting a skateboard so I can learn.
Oh, oh, oh. I like. It seems like you do a lot for charity.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I try to do a lot. I can't, but it's usually really hard. But I don't know. I'm working. I'm actually working on starting my own, which is can take a while. So the idea is to help kids from the south side of Chicago get access to like Wi-Fi or whatever, because it's actually really hard to get access to good Wi-Fi down there. So like that obviously puts you behind in all your classes with everything moving online. So the goal would be like establish some sort of like hotspots or something like that, like give every kid a hotspot, something like that, to really help out like high school kids from like Chicago public schools, which most of those schools are incredibly underfunded and need a lot of help. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on. But I tried to like do the pizza code stuff with Papa John's, but couldn't really figure that out because you need to make an account for everyone, and then there's no way a store was going to let me order 500 pizzas to one address, especially if they weren't making any money on it. So
Yeah, for sure. I tried to order like 3 and they wouldn't do it.
that's crazy. I mean, I'd gotten like individuals, but still.
Yeah, and plus making all the accounts not work.
Exactly.
But that's actually pretty. That would be something that like I like would definitely get behind is making your own charity and
Yeah, yeah,
making it the poor kids in
yeah.
school.
Yeah, I mean, like it's been a process. Like, it obviously takes a while to set up, and like I'm gonna figure out fundraising and everything like that. But I'm looking to bring sneakers into it somehow. Just like maybe doing a giveaway of like a pair of Yeezys for everybody that donates or something like that. Like, just kind of to get the name out there and get it going. But it's not ready yet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think there's a lot of people. Like, yes, we make a lot of money, but we also have an opportunity to help out a lot of people. So we really have to think about that.
Yeah, I don't want to say um like reselling is taking advantage of people, but like it certainly is nice to like give back to people that like actually participate in sneaker Twitter. But
Yeah, 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 for sure. And I don't know. Like, there's a whole question on like, is reselling ethical or not? Like, some people say it is, some people say it isn't. Like, you take away from real buyers, but would the real buyers be there if it wasn't for reselling? It just brings up a whole bunch of questions that are always super interesting to talk about, but
what do you think?
super long. I think at the end of the day, it is ethical. I mean, you're not forcing anybody to spend money with you or anything like that, but I think that people, I think that like essentially the definition of taking advantage of somebody is seeing an opportunity at the expense of another and taking it, and I don't think we're taking any opportunities at the expense of others. I mean, the only case that could be made is like, oh, you're taking away from the real fans, but I don't know.
Actually, there was something that happened a while ago that I think would be a good topic for you because you said it's ethical and you're pretty heavy on charity. The Dornbecker shoes. How do you
Uh huh.
what
Oh yeah,
what
yeah,
have you
yeah,
been
yeah.
profiting over those?
I mean, at the end of the day, it is a shoe. I mean, what I've always done with those is that whenever I do like a good on a release like that, I'll donate a portion of the profits to the Dornbecker charity. So kind of giving right back, like to give them back something. But I think that at the end of the day, you get the shoe, you can do whatever you want with it, and you're not really exploiting the kids with cancer because you're essentially supporting them by buying the shoe. But I don't know that was like a super interesting debate.
Yeah, that would definitely went on for like a couple of days. I'm not gonna go on my Twitter right now and look
Yeah,
at like this stuff I retweet about that because I'm pretty deep in your account right now.
yeah, yeah,
It's only January 24th. There's a lot of
yeah.
shit posting on here, but
Yeah. Of course.
There was one, not to like, I'm not gonna say his name, but he said something like, "If you think I'm gonna profit off terminally ill kids, you're goddamn right," or something like that. And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah,
Like, if you're gonna phrase it like that, that makes it sound like
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
All right, let's see what the next one is that we can talk about while I'm finding another good tweet.
All right, all right, all right.
Crypto. What do you think about crypto?
Oh, I got into crypto uh, last March, so like just under a year ago. Obviously nothing crazy. I wasn't too like involved in it or anything like that. I hate to use that like phrase, but it really isn't nothing too crazy. Exactly. So I was just like kind of learning about it. It always been interesting to me, and I've always kind of understood the idea behind it. I think right now we're seeing like a massive correction. People are just dumping. I mean, like I'm obviously not as invested as some people are on Twitter. Like people just spend their days on it or whatever. But I've like a little bit of money into it. I'm not too like worried about it. It's more just there to like whatever. I won't cry if I lose or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'll survive. But I don't know. It's always just been something super interesting to me, and I just always like stuff that changes the norm. So it's always been super intriguing to me. And it'll be. I think it's right now. It's going to go down. I think it'll probably go below Bitcoin specifically. I think we'll go below 4,000. But then, yeah, it's going to be bad. Yeah, like now, once we get around there, like we'll start getting to where I had gotten in originally. But I don't know. It's always been super interesting to me, and I think if it's not Bitcoin, one of these currencies will do extremely well. So it'll be interesting to see what that is over time. Are you at all into it?
I mean, I'm into it, but I'm pretty new.
Yeah.
I think like my first buy on Coinbase was like November, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I sure do tweet and retweet stuff like I know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Some people on shoe Twitter especially, like, Brendan knows everything about that dude. He knows everything.
yeah, Brennan's coming up on the podcast. Definitely one of my favorite Twitter accounts.
Yeah. He's so funny. He's
If,
also just like not afraid to say what he wants. Like he's funny, dude.
if him and Josh could have stayed on Twitter, the timeline would be a lot different right now.
Yeah.
Even
I
though,
miss Josh. I
yeah.
miss Josh. He's a holy.
Is he ever coming back? Can
I
you
don't
give
know.
any insight on that?
He's I haven't talked to him much about that, but I think he's enjoying life without Twitter.
I saw Danny tweet a couple of days. He's still doing his thing or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Shaw's hilarious, dude. He's so funny. And I don't know, like, if you saw, like, when he was linking with Danny and Ian in New York, so funny.
Oh yeah, and on his YouTube channel, the Uber driver, that was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
He's such a funny guy.
back to rapping. I think diplomatic immunity is better than God's plan.
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted that a while ago. I still think that's generally true. I think God's Plan's like more of like, your average Drake song. I think he changed it up a little bit with diplomatic immunity, but I don't know. Overall, I like the vibes of that song a lot more than God's Plan. But both are just bangers.
That was also a while ago, like say 15 days ago actually. But
Yeah.
it's like not to like. Hold on, let me think about how I'm gonna say this before I get like called out. What about like now it's a different song and like since it's blown up. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always like super interesting. Like songs grow on people over time. Like I've noticed. So even though something's not playing on the radio the first day it comes out, like doesn't mean in 3 weeks it'll be on there or whatever. So it's always interesting. I mean, Drake is pretty mainstream now, so
Do you think
it's.
it is that changes your opinion that diplomatic immunity is better or no?
I don't think it changes it too much. I mean, it's definitely helped me realize like God's Plan is a good song, but like it hasn't really changed my opinion to that degree.
Like, like
Yeah.
so being a Chicago man and more or less on the topic of rap, what do you think about Kanye naming his child Chicago?
I think that's such a stupid name. I think it could have been Wild and been way better. Wild West would have been such a sick name. But I don't know. I've always been a huge fan of Kanye, just like his music, Yeezys, whatever. But I do feel that he never gives back to the city. I think that's something I've noticed. Like even kind of using this as like one small example. I mean, and it's nothing crazy, but back when he was like hand delivering Yeezys within stores to like buyers, he never did that in Chicago. And like Chicago's where he's from, pretty much. Like Chicago's where he came out of. So that's always been interesting to me. But I still think the guy's great. What about you? What do you think about Kanye?
Like, I really like him first off.
Yeah,
Like, don't like get it twisted when I say this nice thing. Like some of the stuff that like he does is like so far off that it's like on, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
Like the way that he dresses is like really cool to me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's also really interesting and kind of going to that example. Like when Yeezus came out, nobody was rapping like that. Nobody was hearing anything like that. And then now you listen back to Yeezus and you're like, yeah, this is a totally normal album. Like people would drop this nowadays and it'd be like good. So that was just super interesting.
So like something that I think like I don't know like how much this actually applies, but they say like Europe is ahead of America in fashion, right?
Yeah.
So like when I look at something like what they're wearing on like fashion shows, like some of some are even like off-white stuff I don't like.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like Europe's always been ahead of the U.S. in terms of that, just because that's where all the fashion houses are. But with like the streetwear movement and everything like that, like, that's kind of been shaken up, and you do have some American companies leading the way. Like Virgil's done a crazy job with Off White, and then you have like Heron Preston, which I think is going to be pretty well soon.
Like a really long time ago, like 5 or 6 years, I was wrestling. Like some kids from Europe came over to our school and we were wrestling, and they had like how like a popular haircut is like short on the sides and long on the top now.
Yeah.
They had it like 6 or 7 years ago, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, these dudes are like super ugly, right?
Yeah.
Like I have the same haircut, so it's like,
Yeah. It's crazy.
well, I'm pretty deep into shitpost. I probably shouldn't have deleted any tweets, but is there anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, nothing really comes to mind, really. Um, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything like we haven't talked about that you want to discuss? I don't know.